Hello, welcome. Happy to see you here. So we're going to talk about cyber diplomacy, and we're going to see if smart contracts can govern cyberspace. First question for you, who knows about the concept of a network state? So great. So you already have the basis of the subject. So I'm going to read you this quote of the Cypherpunk Manifesto. We cannot expect governments, corporations, or other large, faceless organizations to grant us privacy. We must defend our own privacy if we expect to have any. This quote is very important because we are in 2025, and this sentence is from 1993, and we can see that we are in the problem actually. This is the following topic of the last year. Last year I talked about DAO and micronation, and I talked about participatory sovereignty. Why participatory sovereignty? Because with digital we can own our own territory. Because today we think about digital as tools, but digital is not tools. Digital is a territory, and this territory has to be the territory of communities and has to be owned by the users. Why am I talking about this? Am I talking about this because data is digital oil. And we know it because we work in the digital field and we are aware of that. But we have to do education for others because others are not aware of this, and this is in our community that we have to onboard the others. So in these digital territories we can have individual sovereignty, and we don't need to have physical territory to organize ourselves, and we can have a participatory sovereignty because our territory is digital. So we have to build a territory by the community for the community. In 2023, we built with one of my friends the Bermond Island DAO. This is a micronation, and to build this micronation, we claimed a territory on Google Maps. And this is also, for us, a way to hack a map. So we can hack a map by just claiming a territory and saying this is ours. So this territory is virtually in a sense that this is just a big rock on a map, but this is also a symbol of our actions and of our project. So the main question is it possible to build a public state blockchain governed by its citizens as a national digital commons? Citizens today want to become an auditor of the actions of companies and state in order to fight against excesses of domination. Why? Because today, if we talk about sovereignty, we have three states that have a real sovereignty: US, China, and Russia. So, are we all, the rest of the world, just digital colonies? We have to think about this. So how to make our state, our community, and us as just individuals, people independent and free to organize ourselves and to have action to make us available to reach our own goals. Experiment in the future of governance. We're here today. That means we have the real world, we have the virtual world, but these worlds today are independent. It means that when we are not in the real world, our identity continue to live in the virtual world. So we have to find a way to govern all this in the future. So, are we natives of a brand new territory? So a territory that is decentralized means that the territory is for everyone, and we can take actions and we can organize ourselves without having a territory in the real life. And it is very important to us to keep in mind that digital is a territory and digital is not tools. That means we always talk about business in digital, but okay, there is business, but if we don't talk about politics and geopolitics, we are going to be cooked. So sovereignty. For every entities in this world, we need sovereignty. So there is nations, there is corporations, communities, avatars, and even AI agents, because AI agents are going to live with us in the digital territory, and so they also need rules and they also need regulations because we need to have justice in our big territory. If a single entity can shut it down, then it's not truly decentralized. Why do I say that? I say that because in the blockchain, you know that we have public blockchain, we have hybrid blockchain, and we have private blockchain. So if we have a private blockchain, this is not a territory that was made or built for the community. And we need to organize ourselves to develop blockchain on the public blockchain to have something that is really for us and governed by us with our own rules. So classical diplomacy represents states and their citizens, and cyber diplomacy will have to represent protocols, users, and even agentic AI, because these are going to live in our territory. We can have sovereignty with blockchain, so monetary sovereignty with Bitcoin, organizational sovereignty with Ethereum, and interoperable sovereignty with Polkadot. So we have all the tools to make this world ours before having it taken by the big corporation and the states. So centralized vs decentralized governance. We have to go from leaders to builders. We are the builders. We have to go from people to avatars. That means we have to find solutions to protect our anonymity. We have to go laws from smart contracts, because with smart contracts there is no decision taken arbitrarily. And we have to find a way to have an economy that is traceable and that is viable. So for this, we have to think of three layers. The first layer is the protocol, the second is governance, and the third is legal. If we think about these three layers, we can build something strong for us, and we can be independent from the big corporations and from the states. And for justice, we also have tools. We have tools for everything today. We don't have very mature technology, so we experiment today, but we have to keep on experimenting to develop all the tools we have and to find the right way to create our own governance in our own territory. So we had the presentation of Kleros just before my intervention, so you already know about this, and we also have LexDAO, that is a community of legal experts developing smart contracts. So smart contracts can help us find all the solutions to create our own world, because all that we have today in the physical world is going to be in the digital world. And the problem we have is that people that want power knows about these things and are organized to take the power. But we want that our technology make us be independent. So we have to experiment now with all the tools we have. So regulation is an art of protocol design. We have to think about regulation and about law first, because we also have the problem of cybersecurity, and if we don't have smart contracts that are right-coded, it can be very dangerous for our territory. I will give you two examples of governance, one centralized and one decentralized. So the first one is Estonia, because Estonia is a digital state, and it's a very little country, very little state, so they can experiment, and they are experiencing e-governance since 2012. And they have an administration on a blockchain, a private blockchain, but this is centralized. But this is important because this proves that we can do a very ambitious project on this technology. So this is a private blockchain, so this is centralized, but that shows that this is possible. And then another project, but this one on a public blockchain, and this is a project in Colombia, and this is a blockchain against corruption. And this blockchain is on Ethereum, and this is a blockchain to combat corruption in business. And so this blockchain can have a traceability of the business that is made and find when there's a corruption or when there's information suspicious. This topic is a topic that is very, how to say in French, we say avant-gardiste. That means for the moment, we are not going to see a territory fully governed by smart contracts, because we are not ready, I mean in an education point of view, but also in the experiment. There's experimentation, but not that much, because this is already complicated for us and we are in the ecosystem. But we have to talk about it, we have to experiment, and we have to onboard the next generations, because we can see, I mean, a more equitable world, thanks to the digital, if we onboard the next generation. And I just put this here because this is a wink from Reddit, because in 2016 there was a group that wanted to buy an island and to build a DAO for Ethereum micronation, and I find it funny because when I talk about micronations, we usually try to develop little community to experiment, and we try to find territories, very little territories, and the island is the best place for a little community that want to experiment politics and geopolitics with technology. So we're probably already in a simulation, who knows? So this is a very important topic, but there is also a lot of scams because a micronation has also a political purpose, and sometimes you can be fooled by some projects that are not really ethical. So do your own research, and if you have any question, I'm here to respond. Yes?
Ruling that will happen on the blockchain or whatever, how will you enforce policing and will you have a digital police in the future, or will you enforce judgment and stuff like that?
No, there is digital police, but I think that the digital police is the community that is deciding, and the real question is who is coding the rules and who is in charge of all of this. And we're going to have a lot of protocols on the digital territory, and we're going to have smart contracts that are going to put the rules for small communities and for a large community, but also some rules and some protocols from the state. And I think that the governance will be automatic, and we're going to have a police, but an automatic police. So it's not like in the real world we can have arbitrary decision based on the context. We can have it also in the digital world, and we have tools like Kleros, for example, and the community will judge if the situation is going to have a sanction or not. But the difference is that this is decided by the community and not a centralized entity. So it's, I mean, with the digital, we can do the worst and we can do the best. And in the real world, we can have authoritarian police, and this police is going to be fair. And on the digital, the aim is to have more justice with people that can decide from the context, and the majority of the decision is from the majority of the votes.
Thank you.
Is there other questions? No? Ah, yeah, okay. Yeah, there is.
What got you interested in network states to begin with?
Sorry, can you repeat?
What was your original interest in network states? What caused the interest?
Okay. My original interest in network states is because I know that the digital is a territory, and if it's a territory, that means this is political. And I don't want to live in a world that is authoritarian, and I also know the purpose of guys like Curtis Yarvin, Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, etc., and I don't want to be dominated by these people. And these people are very rich, they are very intelligent, they know the system, they know the digital, so I don't want to be in their world and oppressed by their vision of the world. And my vision of the world is very, I could say, socialist, in a sense that I think we are a community of humans, and we have to build our own world with fair rules, with justice. And I think that if we let this territory to the dominants, we are going to be completely they're going to take power over us, and we are lost in this world.
Hello, sorry for my English is not perfect, I'm Italian. I'd like to know if your protocol or network could be helpful for women that live in a sort of a cage, such as Afghanistan, Iran, and because for them it's difficult to have access to internet, or maybe they hide them to do it, especially in Afghanistan. They don't have any type of access, they cannot study, they cannot go to school. How can we help them? Thank you.
I think it's difficult because everything begins with education, and you have to know at least one person who can help you develop a governance on a blockchain. Because this is not an easy thing to do. You have to know about digital, you have to know about decentralized protocol, you have to know how to code, etc. So you need to find someone. In every revolution, we have to organize ourselves to find the good profile for the ultimate aim. Il y a du temps ou pas? Il y a le temps pour une question. We can have one question. No? There is or there's not? Non, je pense que c'est bon.